Hey guys, welcome back to Rally Fab. We're going to be working on the Rally Capri and taking the old boosted brake system that is tired and worn out from the 70s.
Let's get started.
Putting in a overhung Tilton pedal box so that we can support the new brakes that are going on in the system. So stay tuned and check it out.
Oh, that's real good.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
Alright, so the road we had to travel to get to where we are right now for doing the pedal box is we did the rallycross, and then in the rallycross my brake cylinders I thought were leaking in the back because this only had drum brakes at the time. I just wanted to get out there, get sideways, have fun with it, and then make revisions to the car afterwards. So I noticed that some fluid was showing up on the inside of the wheels after the rallycross. Lo and behold, it was the bearings for the rear axle. So ordered some new bearings, put those in, and then I figured, hey, might as well beef up the rear end a little bit. So instead of paying an arm and a leg for a diff brace for the Capri Escort Atlas axle that is on here standard, I made my own. I just got a sheet of aluminum that was thick, cut it out, and actually went by the Escort preparation book that Ford put out, and I show you a picture on the screen of what I used to do that, and then just follow all their measurements. All the guys in the UK and the UK guys will let you know that they've been doing that stuff for a long time and just reading off this book. So I did some cardboard-aided design, did a template, and basically transfer that over, cut the sheet out, marked all my holes, and put it in. And I'll show pictures of it also later. But then I was like, okay, I want to do some wheelwood calipers on here and actually make this thing stop pretty good. I actually have the Ford Fiesta ST brake disc because it was 4x108, which is the common bolt for the Escorts and the Capris. Did that, and then I found a 2-piston race caliper from Wheelwood that was actually cheap, super cheap on OfferUp. From that, I tried to rebuild the master cylinder on my car, and I knew I'm going to be fighting a losing battle with that. So I went ahead and I was like, okay, I want to do manual brakes in this thing anyway, so might as well do it. So ordered up the Tilton box. I actually found a super screaming deal on it. It was cheap. And again, all these parts that I'm doing on this car, I'm starting out. There is no sponsorship whatsoever. So I'm buying this straight from me, and I'm finding cheap deals on used stuff. The calipers I found on OfferUp. The pedal box I found online, but I found it so cheap I could not pass it up. So that's where I went. So if you want to do a universal pedal box, I think the first thing you're going to want to start with is doing a plan of attack of how you're going to mount this. A lot of guys have roll cages, they tie them into that. I'm actually using my steering column mount to do this, which was detachable. So it actually worked out really good for me. But from that, you're going to want to go to like the bare bones of how to mount it. So use tape, use bungee cords, use clamps, whatever you can to try to make this thing as straight as possible. From doing that, you're going to want to use something like I did, where I used the threaded bosses at the top to basically make sure this thing was all straight. And then I was able to make a jig that I put on the vise, mounted it up, and then was able to build all this box tubing around it. So something you guys can do is just, again, plan of attack so that you know where you can put this pedal box and not just kind of guess where it's going to go. Because this is going to be your guys' seating position as well. I know on the Capri, the seating position was kind of terrible for me anyway. So I was able to move around and play with this a little bit. I also put my seat a little bit farther back. So guys, if you want to do this, it's honestly really easy. This is something you could do at home with a welder and a tape measure.
Time to follow along with the journey of installing this onto the Capri. Step is removing the brake booster and the master cylinder. Then I cut out the pedals, make sure that I had enough room to put the master cylinders in, and start with a good reference of where I should install the Tilton box.
On the docket, I have these pieces of square tubing that are 1x1 that I'm cutting up, and I'm going to brace the whole steering column / pedal box that I'm building to be able to take all the abuse that hands at it, and with not having any vacuum, all the force that's getting pushed at it. So I'm going to basically make a little skeleton of it, tack it all together, see if it works, see if everything fits, and then we'll fully weld it from there. So one small hiccup I found is that I had to shave down this area because of the Toyota electronic power assist motor comes at an angle and it hits the side of this. So on my brackets I built out and a little bit of the corner of the Tilton box, I had to cut it or kind of grind it down to make sure that the top end of the assist motor clears it and I could actually fit it on the bracket that's below. Alright, so guys, I welded something right here, and it actually makes the fitment of the pedal box harder to fit back in because I was trying to fully weld this up. Another good tech tip you can do, this dyno file will get into small surfaces that you can't reach, grind down a little bit of welds if you need clearance, but if that doesn't work and you're struggling and like, man, I can't get this, get yourself a set of files. I mean, I know they're kind of rudimentary, but you can actually do a lot with this, and I can actually fit into the crevice that I'm trying to get at and file it down. So don't get frustrated, just try and find the right tool. Now we have finished drilling the block-off plate for the brake master hole for the stock location. I'm actually going to use this to tie into the back of my pedal box to strengthen it and use the firewall as a support. And this is only 1/4 inch. I had just stock laying around. So again, when you guys are using the drill press, use lube for your drill bits. It'll just make everything easier and you won't dull out your drill bits all the time, and you actually make your holes really nice. You guys that are following along, I'm actually going to take the studs out of the stock pedal that I cut out and reuse them on that block-off plate that connects to it. I know a lot of you guys are doing this not on a Capri, but on any other vehicle that has a custom pedal box. So this is just for those guys that are following wrong that do have it. Another trick that I've learned to do is put some tape around your step drill. If you're trying to figure out what size hole it is, stick it in, and then when you go to cut your hole, you're not going past it. Just a little thing that sometimes we all get a little carried away and we forget how big the step drill is and we go one too far. Alright guys, pedals are in. They feel really good. I have enough foot room to move around and actually be in a good position to drive this car now. The other cool thing this thing has is a brake bias adjuster, so I'll be able to change it on the fly so I can get more front brakes, more rear brakes to make sure this car is balanced when it's braking. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be running all the lines, putting in the master cylinders. So stay tuned for that. That's the next thing that's going to be coming. Hopefully we're getting one step closer to be ripping in this car. So we can go back and actually put some really good brakes on here. There's also something that I would like to do is change the suspension in the front to something a little more modern, a little more common. You just got to stick around to see what it is. Until next time guys, like, follow, subscribe, comment. It helps me a ton because I am really starting out on this thing, trying to go a little bit further and make more content for you guys, especially on the Capri. So, until then, keep going.